Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Knack, and we have got some serious live tournament action coming at you. I guess we should call it a show match here, and I do have Wendy on the line joining me, so we're going to be casting this sucker up. Guess what we're bringing you tonight? Ladies and gentlemen, we have got our very own AltSonic taking on the one, the only, EGiNcontroL. Wendy, we've had a long time coming for this type of notoriety here, but I think this is the right time, this is the right place, and you tell me a little bit about these players if you got a moment.
Oh, absolutely, and of course, spawning in the north location here on Daybreak, the viewer choice and control is so kind to give everybody the viewer choice. It is none other than EGiNcontroL, the blue Protoss player, a very, I would say probably one of the most prominent figureheads in esports right now in StarCraft. Really stand-up guy. Very comedic gentleman, you know, pillar. It was one of the pillars of state of the game. So, a big thanks to him, and of course, Evil Genius for him to come out and do this. And we do have our own Purple Terran, which is Sonic, who recently qualified for the WCS USA tournament, which will be hosted in MLG Anaheim. And coincidentally, EGiNcontroL was invited to the same tournament that was actually just announced the other day. So these two actually have the possibility of meeting up. So this show match is kind of a thank you to fans of esports everywhere, and of course Sonic. I don't know really how many people would view it as a thank you to set him up against someone such as EGiNcontroL, but
right.
It's really to show him that he can roll with the big boys and he can pull it out too. But looks like at a Sonic Neck we do have a gasless expand here, one racks and a supply depot at the ramp. We'll go ahead and wall that off to give him a nice secure threshold there.
Right, early scouts from both players too.
Yeah, that want to play it safe. It's the first game. They're probably going to give each other a little bit of berth. They need to be safe. I mean, this is a best of 7. First to 4 will win a $100 prize. But, you know, Daybreak's one of those maps. You can see a lot of cheese and you can see a lot of super standard play.
Right, that's so true. And it looks like EGiNcontroL has got basically his standard opener going here at this point.
Yeah, actually going to go ahead and delay his cybernetics core a little bit. Not too big of a deal on a map this big. It's not going to really matter that his warp gate comes out a few seconds earlier. I am curious as to what he's going to open. Protoss have kind of had a tough time against early Terran aggression as of late in the current metagame. So they've gotten a little bit more standard in their builds. 3-gate expands, or, you know, necessarily maybe even like a 2-gate robo is kind of coming back into play, just because some early Terran aggression is getting really potent. But of course, Sonic is just going for a 1-rack gas expand, and we'll probably see EGiNcontroL 1-gate expand in turn as soon as he has enough money for it.
Right, Cyber Core completing up right away. You can see him starting his warp gate technology. Fairly standard play thus far, and you can see Sonic's now command center going down in great style. Love the bunker here. I think definitely what you want to be doing. You want to make yourself prepared for any type of one-base, type of aggression
Pressure
coming out. Exactly.
Yeah.
And having that bunker down is a good, safe move here for Sonic. Both of these guys gearing up with very safe play at this point. And I guess that's what we have to expect for game number 1, don't you think, Wendy?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now, interesting out of Sonic here, barracks plus double gas at about the same time. Usually it's double gas and 2 additional racks, or two additional racks and double gas. Sometimes you even see 3 additional racks for a powering marine build, and then 1 gas to get up stim or combat shield. But interesting to do this kind of 2 barracks play. This gives Sonic a lot of variety, can even allow him to take a quick third if he so chooses. But I'm going to assume it's probably going to be a quick medevac into quick draft play. A lot of Terran players are starting to favor that, especially on a map like Daybreak. But of course, these Marines are going to come out and try to pick up the Zealot. Will they get it? Stalker just come into play. Marines still chasing down the Zealot. Do not get it. Now the Stalker is actually trapped inside of Sonic's natural here, and that Stalker will have to kite back. Will it get away with its life? I believe it will. Yes, only loses 1 Marine. So good trade for Sonic, whittling down those Protoss units.
Yeah, it's a great idea. And it's interesting because, you know, the Protoss units tend to be very cost-effective in and of themselves, especially early game like this. And, oh, look at this. He might pick up the kill. Windy, and he does. Now, that's a big pick there, especially for just 1 Marine. Yeah,
that's great use of the Watchtower by Sonic. That's such smart knowledge to know that that Stalker is probably going to cut around, not going to really go the long way, wants to get the short way around to the map, and using that Watchtower to get that vision and pick him off. Really smart move. It shows you why Sonic did qualify and why he's one of the top players. Of course, there goes the factory, as well as an engineering base, so we'll be probably a +1 with stim timing. Yeah, it looks like that way with medevac drops. It's actually a really interesting build. He has cut bunkers, though, and that can kind of make him vulnerable to any kind of post 1-gate expand into 4-gate pressure from Protoss players.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll have to see what he transitioned, but what do you think EGiNcontroL is going to be his next move? Is he going to go Robotech, or maybe favor that new style of Zealot Archon?
Yeah, I would think that that's what we're going to see out of EGiNcontroL here. Might even go for some charge lots along with that. So we'll see if that's going to be the case. But he is currently on 4 gates. A great time for him to potentially put on some pressure here off 2 bases. Right around the 7:30 mark is when you tend to see that. And you can see EGiNcontroL setting up his pylon now, getting prepared for that right away. And it looks like he may go for that 4-gate pressure. But you can see Sonic taking the Xel'Naga tower. He is going to get a scout out on that pylon. He's cruising over here right now to try and take that out.
Yeah, he will EGiNcontroL cancel it, though? Yes, he does. Good reaction time out of a player. Would expect nothing less out of a player of his caliber. Does gonna kind of feign the pressure there. Not a real big deal for EGiNcontroL. Can just back up, go back to macroing, and then just set his tech path. Double forge going down before any tech coming out. What do you think of that choice there from EGiNcontroL, Matt?
You know, I quite like it. I think that, you know, so far in the Protoss metagame that's where we're going. And getting the upgrades, they scale so well, and he's preparing himself for the mid to late game here, and that's where he's really going to shine, I think, against Sonic. And Sonic may end up trying to do some more early game pressure if that's the case. If he senses a lot of strength here in EGiNcontroL late game, then we may see Sonic start to put on early game pressure in the continuing matches. But right now, EGiNcontroL is taking a forward position. You can see him replacing that forward pylon, and he may go for this 4-gate attack once again. And I think this is a great decision out of him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. With the number of sentries he has here, that one Marine did scout out exactly the composition that EGiNcontroL had, so long as Sonic was paying attention. So he may, looks like EGiNcontroL may even be set to back down a little bit. Third goes down for Sonic. Medevacs are on the way out. Look how early those medevacs out. You usually see medevacs by 10 minutes. These are coming out before the 9-minute, 30-second mark.
Right.
With stim, with +1. If he does a double drop right now, which is actually what a lot of aggressive Terrans are favoring, it's going to bring the Protoss player back home, and it's going to let him do a lot of damage if he splits it right and it goes unscouted. So we'll have to see what he chooses to do. He's going to go ahead and move out to the watchtower, probably put on a little bit of pressure here, which, considering the fact he's expanding, not a bad idea.
Yeah, and he's got 2 medevacs chuck full at this point. Well, right now, EGiNcontroL is taking down a factory, so maybe a little bit, I don't know, maybe a little bit preoccupied to have noticed that drop, but he did have a pylon relatively close.
Oh, will this probe see it? Will this probe see it?
Oh, it's so close.
Oh, it just missed that. But he does actually have stalkers in position already. EGiNcontroL, good game sense, so smart. Sonic gonna back out, reroute his medevac to do the double drop in the main. Some players like to split them up, some like to just send it right to one location and maximize their damage. If he could even pick off one of those forges, he will be light years ahead of EGiNcontroL. Here it goes. Dropped on the medevac. He's going to just pick right back up. Doesn't want to chance it. Is going to lose 2 Marines. Not a huge loss there from Sonic. And at the very least, he pulled EGiNcontroL back to his base.
Right. Now EGiNcontroL is completing his +1/+1 here. And probably going to see him start +2/+2 here right away. I think the upgrades are really going to be an essential part of his gameplay. But let's go check Sonic's third. You can see that he does have that orbital about to be complete. He's already calling down mules at that third. And tech-wise here for Sonic, he's just going to be putting down more barracks, so definitely committing pretty heavily here to a Marine Marauder army. And I like this play out of him. We'll see if it's going to be the right move in the end, though. EGiNcontroL is starting to pick up his tech.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It looks like Blink is about 75% done. Really interesting that a lot of Protoss players, especially EGiNcontroL, who I would assume I would label as a standard Protoss player, favoring Blink in the mid game against Terran, especially against these medevac plays, makes it very, very difficult to drop. As you can see here, Sonic's medevacs are kind of pinned in this location. However, he is coming up with a small force from behind. Probably not going to be able to engage that directly, but of course he can always rendezvous with his other force. It looks like what he will do. And now these 2 forces pretty sizable with 4 medevacs, stim, +1/1, just nearly completed, and +2 weapons on the way. Sonic is in a pretty good position, and of course EGiNcontroL taking his third. A little bit late though, wouldn't you say?
You know, I'd say for a Protoss at this point, he's probably going to be fair. I mean, he may have been able to push it a little bit, considering that he hasn't really sustained any real damage from Sonic's aggression thus far, which has been relatively light. I mean, these guys are tiptoeing around each other at this point. And yeah, I mean, he probably could have put it down a little early, but all in all, I mean, he's relatively safe here. Having blink out's really going to enable him to deal with any more drops, and we may see Sonic try and kind of go headlong into his serious upgrades for these bio units, and you know, start to get himself ready for some mid map type of aggression, big bio ball versus death ball type play.
Yeah, but it looks like the Protoss player has decided to choose Zealot Archon, throwing down that High Templar, getting Storm already. Ghost Academy just completing for Sonic, of course. He will go ahead and get them Ghost out for that EMP. So crucial for dealing with the High Templars, as well as just a general Protoss army, especially once Archons need that EMP to whittle down that huge 350 shield buffer that they have Third has completed for EGiNcontroL. He's got that well underway. He's got cannons in pretty much all good locations. Has 2 up in the main. None of his natural, but it's going to be pretty easy to defend that natural in the third because it takes about the same route. So he's pretty much drop-proof with the addition of Blink as well as those high Templar with feedback. Now, Sonic, his advantage is now gone. Where do you go from here? Do you try to macro up, get that big Marine Bio Ball, and then just do a big push with maybe 2-2 or 3-2? Or do
I mean, I think he's making the right decision here. Getting the Ghost, it's really going to come down to his Ghost play here. He's going to have to deal with the high temps. That's really the game-changing factor here for EGiNcontroL. High temps are going to be so strong with their feedbacks on the Medivacs as well as Psionic Storm. Just going to obliterate this Bioforce when it comes down to it. I mean, obviously Sonic getting himself prepared upgrade-wise is going to be helpful there, but EGiNcontroL may start to move out here pretty quick, and it's nice that Sonic does have a couple Ghosts already in his army. He's got 3 there, you can see, and it's really going to come down to the EMPs, I think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, EMPs are going to be everything in this engagement. He already has a few Ghosts with enough energy. It looks like he has 3 Ghosts with enough energy for 1 EMP a piece. 4th base on the way. It's just so amazing. These players haven't dropped their money. Their money's been so low all game. EGiNcontroL just now spiking up a little bit over 700. Just say caliber of play, just macroing so well. It's amazing what players can do when they go untouched for the majority of a game.
Right.
And, ooh, double expand out of Sonic.
Yeah, I quite like this, actually, and he's going to be moving into the center of the map. I think of this 4th that he's got up right now is going to be very defensible. You can see him taking out the destructible debris, open up those paths, but we've got a counterattack moving in, and EGiNcontroL is going to pick up some solid kills here.
Oh yeah, QSV's going down. There is a small force behind. Meanwhile, there's a bigger engagement going on. Sonic's forces are split. The force was going down. All those energy, nice and juicy. All that's energy on the sector is just so full from the beginning of the game. Hasn't lost a single one. Vikings caught out in the open. Expansion's gonna have to be canceled here. Does Sonic get it off? No, it actually does not. Good split from Sonic though. Decent surround. Storms are gonna come down. Tons of damage being done to the Bio Army. Cannot sustain. Medivacs don't have enough healing power to have them survive, but Sonic's still up in supplies. Surprisingly able to ward off this force, and EGiNcontroL, even with 3-2 upgrades, 3 armor, 2 attack, and Sonic only on 2-2, it shows you just how good those EMPs were in that engagement.
Yeah, they really are quite good. And now Sonic's really put together a lot of Ghosts. You can see those snipes going down, just obliterating those high temps right away. And Sonic did hold on to this 3rd base, which is a big deal. Now let's just check the units tab very quickly. You did push him down to 60 SCVs. Not that big of a deal. He is going to be flying out this next base and setting himself up for that 4-base play. EGiNcontroL did buy himself some time to get his 4th base up and running at this point, and he's looking pretty solid right now. We're going to see some new tech out of him. Now just notice that EGiNcontroL is actually going for a double Colossus production as well as his Protoss shield upgrade right now, so he's really preparing for his big late game push, and this is about the time to do that. I think that this is well timed out and well thought out gameplay from EGiNcontroL right now. It's looking pretty strong in this particular match.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I do have to kind of worry about his decision to make the Colossus tech so switch, especially after he knew the fact that Sonic already had Vikings out. He did see 2 of them kind of meandering around his arm. He did see that he had enough Medivacs out to sustain a Bioforce. So, I mean, it looks like Sonic has 7 Vikings out already, more in production. I assume he already has double starport down, so he'd be able to get out Vikings 4 at a time. 7 Vikings 8 and 9 now joining up for a total of 9. And that's going to be really just the straight-up counter to this Colossi. They cannot... I can't believe EGiNcontroL could actually maybe sustain against an engagement like that. He'd probably have to get those Vikings picked off with the Blink, and that would probably be his best point of interest, is to engage with the Blink Stalkers onto the Vikings when they're out of position just like this.
Right.
This is not what you want to do with your Vikings in this situation.
True. Well, another thing that scares me too is that EGiNcontroL is a little bit light on the Stalker count. You see he's only got 3 in his army right now.
Oh yeah, wow.
It's kind of a big deal, and he is going to have to be careful with this Viking count. But he is getting a great scout out. You can see all those Vikings camping over top of that pylon there is going to give EGiNcontroL a pretty solid knowledge base there and what that unit composition is. So we'll see if he's going to start to counter it. You can see him putting in some more Stalkers into this mix, and I think that's exactly what we need to do here.
Yeah, and ooh, a War Person loaded up with a Colossi. What do you think of that? But never mind. Here comes the engagement. Vikings will go in, go immediately pick off the War Person. Colossi just get dropped off. Vikings are taking a little bit of damage from the cannon. Some of them going down. 1 does go down. Looks like 1 more Colossi will get picked off. High Templar in the back, not going in for any Storm. Really good engagement from Sonic. Gonna come down. EMPs 2 flies. 1 Storm does go down, soaking up a lot of damage into those Marauders. Another Colossi just during the fight from a rally, but I don't think there'll be enough to stop him still plenty of Vikings left here for Sonic. I think EGiNcontroL might lose his 4th base and possibly the game right here. Now, does he have anything? Oh wow, he has a whole bunch more gateways working, and this might be able to sustain him for at least a little bit longer, maybe do a counter push.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he's starting to put together his kind of desperation force as quickly as he can. You can see him pulling some probes here, strangely enough, that get themselves a little bit eradicated. And that's a tough deal, and looks like the 4th base is now the target of Sonic, and quite honestly, I think this is the right play. He knows that his army is weak. He's got to be careful of the storms. The storm placement right now is...
Oh, wow. Those storms just won EGiNcontroL the game back into his favor. Yes, he lost his that 5th base he had, but so many ghosts here just soaking up the damage from the storms. Yeah, they are going to get the snipes, but they're just not being cost effective here. Reinforcements coming from EGiNcontroL, Colossi, a couple of Zealots will get here. Stalkers here, they blink forward, miss one, do get one medevac, get 2 medevacs, and a feedback from the high tempo gets the 3rd. EGiNcontroL taking it back. This game, man, this is a good first game.
It really is. The back and forth here is crazy. Sonic did leave his Vikings behind. That's one thing when you want to see him remedy there very quickly.
Really he could get a free Colossi. He will get actually 1 free Colossi. Wow. Very good pick from Sonic. Realizing his Vikings out of position, will take them home and go ahead and get them repaired up. But what's the production look like for Sonic? Looks like 7 barracks there, and that's it. He's only on 7 barracks of production.
Notice that EGiNcontroL is also moving into this now the 3rd base here, taking out that supply line. He did also hit that top base a little bit there for a moment, but for that 5th base. And then now he's really putting Sonic back on his back foot here. Laying on his back, kind of flat. He's got to be very careful now. Yes, he's got that Viking count, but man, you can't rely on that in the end. So.
No, you really can't. Vikings will only serve you so long as Colossi are in the field. Otherwise, they become pretty much flying spotters, which is, you know, nice, but not always what you need. Another
look at this high temp, the high temp numbers right now. I mean, these guys are starting to soak up a lot of energy. Look at, I mean, we've got 3 Archons
10 high
in
temp
there.
in the field.
Yeah, I mean, EGiNcontroL is really in a commanding position here. And this is why we can't, I mean, there's a lot of guys out there saying that, oh, Sonic's definitely going to take this. And, I mean, while I agree in some ways, and we've got a lot of faith in Sonic, EGiNcontroL cannot be underestimated.
And, ooh, storm does go down on Sonic's army. Another storm does go down, does scan, I don't know, maybe trying to pick off a an observer that was there, probably spotting. He's going to have to retreat from this forward expansion. EGiNcontroL taking control of this watchtower in a very precarious position here. He can do a lot of damage if he engages properly. Gonna go ahead and try and pick off this orbital command, now getting thrown out of the way. Vikings do come in. We'll be able to take out this Colossi relatively easy. They're uncontested. You know, on the Battle Force, decent split on it, but I don't think there's enough here. Medevac healing, not enough. Colossi are gone, but actually it looks like Sonic is able to trade once more with EGiNcontroL. Marauders doing so much damage to Stalkers. More reinforcements coming from behind. Will the orbital command go down, though? No, it looks like it will be safe and wow once again. But meanwhile, in the 3rd NAC, Zealots have gone to work on that orbital, will be forced to live and pull all the SCVs off the line. And gee, dude, this game.
EGiNcontroL, I mean, he's just making such great decisions right now, I think. He knows that he doesn't want Sonic to be engaging on his side of the map. He wants to keep the battles on Sonic's ground at this point. And I love this play out of EGiNcontroL. I mean, this is why we've got so much respect for this guy. The vast amount of game knowledge, really coming to out to show what kind of talent is available out there. And finally, we've got Sonic picking off this pylon up there at the top, man, and that's what's been killing him this entire time. And look at this, EGiNcontroL getting a little bit, I don't know, bold here. He's putting a pylon right next to this 5th base down here in the bottom section, and he's going to start warping in. Feels like he might be able to push through this and take Sonic out right now.
I don't know. Sonic does have a good number of medevacs as well, a decent bioforce here. He just needs to engage all together. He can, of course, use the SCV spot through. He has a good number of Vikings, 7 Vikings actually, to only 4 Colossi. Not the magic number you need, but these Vikings do have +1. Colossi still missing their +3 shield, so those Vikings do have a little bit more punch than they normally would. But of course, the storms do ward them away very, very quickly. And I think it comes down to production. EGiNcontroL on a lot more gateways than Sonic has barracks right now. Still, I believe, on only 7 barracks. Has he built any more? No, and I think that's what's killing him. He's just not able to macro up nearly as quickly as EGiNcontroL can warp in.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you can see EGiNcontrol's got great production capability at this point. He still has that double robotics, and I would like to see him start to put maybe a couple more Immortals into his army, since there is fairly heavy on the Marauder side. But all in all, I mean, he's got a bio-ball killing army right now with these just wonderful amount of Stalkers, heck of a lot of Colossus.
And here goes Yeah, the Storm's going down, gonna catch him on the ramp in a pretty much a choked up area. I don't think Sonic has enough. Ghost now falling under 100 supply, 84 supply. Sonic losing most of his battle force. The Colossi almost all go down, but 2 remain, one with just a little bit of health. And that will be game 1. Sonic gonna lose. Wow. Knack.
Beautiful play, Windy. I mean,
in control. Good game, my friend. No one can be upset after losing a game like that.
No.